Hey everybody, I just wanted to show you my jersey collection. Now let's see how many of these are current players. Gone, 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 probably gone. Look, it's Justin Reed. It's my only jersey that has a current player on it. It's not even a full jersey. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that intro and get to see some of my misery, but I'll never show it. Welcome to Frontline Football, your one place all your news, rumors, updates, and highlights, and roll the intro.
All right, Josh, you want to talk about Houston and that misery?
J.J. Watt, three-time Defensive Player of the Year and one MVP vote voting race. He has requested his release from the Houston Texans and has been granted that release. Now, I will hand this off to Jack for his take on the matter.
All right, this is interesting, but we knew it was going to happen because Houston had no cap before. They were like dancing around $0 pretty much, so free up 17.5 million. That was going to happen. They need that for Fuller, keep everything intact, and begin their process back to the playoffs eventually. But I think if we're going to go over some destinations, it's going to be a contender. He's got like 2 years left. Now, I've heard a lot. I've heard Steelers, I've heard Packers, I've heard Browns, and Hopkins is recruiting for the Cardinals. Now, my concern about Packers, Steelers is they're in the negative. According to over the cap, that's negative 19 for the Packers, that's negative 30 for the Steelers. That's going to be hard to get around, but if they can, go for it. So I think more likely options that are interesting here are we got the Browns at 21 million and the Cardinals at 19 million if you wanted to reunite with Hopkins. I think both he could have a real impact on both teams because both teams have solid defensive lines, but he could be a good rotational pass rusher for either one. And I think overall, you never know, he could go to one of those Steelers or Packers, but they got to get their cap sorted out. So I think Browns and Cardinals are both very intriguing options in this situation. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think from being the Texans fan, whoever gets him will get a great locker room presence that could change a locker room entirely. So I would say my top three options would be actually the Packers, the Steelers, and the Bears. Now, the Bears is kind of a hot take, but here's the thing Packers, JJ is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Packers are in Wisconsin. He'd probably love to take a pay cut to play for his hometown team. So I would say Packers is up there. Steelers, his brothers are on the Steelers. The Steelers would probably move Earth, Wind, and Fire to just get the man. So, and also with that toxic locker room, JJ would come in and help that locker room be better and be that veteran presence that brings the locker room back to where it was. And now Cleveland, I don't really believe that they would get it because one, it doesn't seem like he would want to play with a division rival against his brothers. Also, this was from a source called Cleveland.com. I don't really trust that credibility. And four, the Chicago Bears. His wife plays for the Chicago Red Stars. Just so happens they have a team called the Chicago Bears. So JJ might want to join that to be closer with his wife and, just be in Illinois instead of having to have a Houston home and go up to Milwaukee and have all that stuff. So those are my top three options for JJ to go to. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Well, judging how Hopkins really wants him, and do we was he a good player this year? Well, yeah, receiving almost the receiving leader. I think the team would listen to him when Hopkins says that he's a good player. They would probably listen to him. So I think Arizona's on his list probably. I think Steelers because his brothers are there. I don't think the Packers, they have a really weird cap situation where they're like not even able to pay their own players. So I don't think he can go to the Packers. But I think another team, I don't think the Chicago Bears, what Josh said either, because the Bears, they already have a great D line. I don't think that they would give JJ a contract anyway. So I think another team is the Browns, what Jack said. And the Browns, they're contenders, which that's number one what he wants. Number two, They have a great defense, and he can just add more onto it. The only thing that is scaring me, what Josh said, is he has to play his brothers 2 times a year, and I don't think he would want to do that. So I do like the Cardinals idea. The Cardinals idea is probably the best one. We already have we're contenders. Josh, I saw your face. We're contenders for almost the Super Bowl, and he has like a good 3 to 2 years left. So I think we are contenders. Good D line, not good D line, but we can still use an edge. Great offense. Like this team is up and coming, and I think he could go there. I think he also goes Steelers, good. Contenders, good. Well, it's already a good defense, so I don't know where they plop him though. So I don't know. Maybe he's a rotation guy. So I don't know. But whatever move he goes, hopefully it's a smart one. Hopefully he's not going to like, I don't know, the Bengals or something like that and choosing there. So yeah. All right. Well, let's move on to our next story, which is AJ Bouye. Jack, what has AJ Bouye done?
All right, we have an update. The Broncos have released AJ Bouye. Now, this is a veteran cornerback from Denver. I'll open it up with my take on this, and I think this makes sense just on the cap hit alone. It was a 1-year kind of thing, but I don't know who's taking his place, so Broncos are going to have to address who's replacing AJ Bouye. They got to also pay Justin Simmons. And overall, it's going to be a weird offseason for them. They could go in a lot of directions. A lot of good offense and a lot of good pieces there. Defense is solid, but aging in certain parts. So I'm curious what they do at cornerback and quarterback, more importantly, in the future. But I'll go over their defense real quick. So Von Miller could also be walking. We don't know what's going on with him. He said some very, very bad stuff in text. So I'm not sure if that's going to impact his influence on if he gets to stay on the Broncos or not. And Justin Simmons is on a contract year, as I said. So overall, it's intriguing. You either draft a rookie or sign another cornerback, but that's the only cornerback I know that's on the Broncos. I don't think they have any up-and-coming stars. So keep in mind, Broncos will now have to address the cornerback position as one of their higher priorities this offseason. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that this is a good move by both parties. Bouye didn't really seem to have the same production that he did everywhere else, so there's a good thing getting his contract off the books. But now the Broncos need corner. I don't really hear many of their corners. I think that they're going to need somebody to fill the void that Bouye left on their team. Now, a potential contender for Bouye, I think, is the Houston Texans. The Texans have had him before. Before he went to Saxonville, he was a rookie, or he spent his first 4 years in Houston. So I believe it'd be a good reunion. And the Texans with their corners like John Reed, Tyler Hartgraves, Garyon Conley, I think with that corners, he's just going to help make that cornerback line a lot better. Now, some other contenders, I think what we said was teams that needed corners. Just let me go back to the prediction stuff. I think another team is maybe a team like the Jets he could go to. They could be an option, but they're probably drafting J.C. Horn. So those are just a couple options that he could go to with being a corner, or maybe even Arizona if he'd like. So I'm going to hand it off to Zach for his take.
With me, I don't know. AJ Bouye seems like a good idea for the Cardinals to take. I'm sad that he's cut. He's a good player. He didn't have the same production though, so it's a little weird. I'm kind of scared about it. If he does sign with the Cardinals, I don't think that we might still be able to take Surtain or Horn. Whoever's on the board, we will be taking them because corner is the biggest need right now. We just cut Patrick Peterson. I don't think that we would go for. I don't think we're going to be signing him though. I don't think that's a good idea. I would rather have JJ Watt than what's his name? AJ Bouye. So yeah. I think another option is probably the Jets, maybe. Some other teams like that need corners. I can't name some off the top of my head, but There are other teams that need corners. So yeah. All right. Jack, your turn.
Oh, I think I already said my take.
Okay, cool. Let me go over here. All right, so our next story is about retirement. Josh, who just retired?
The Pouncey twins have just retired from the NFL. Maurice Pouncey last was, I believe, he was one of the offensive linemen for the Steelers. Marquise Pouncey was one of the linemen for the Chargers. So this is some very weird news, but this was a long time coming. They were a part of that Florida Gators team that did win the national championship. They were getting up there in age. I feel like this was a good thing. They'll probably be maybe Hall of Famers. They had some good careers. They were a bit controversial in the media aspect, but they were good players. So, good luck in retirement, Pouncey Twins. I'm going to hand it off to Zach for his take.
I don't really know what to say. I mean, they were pretty good in the league. Maybe Hall of Fame, but it's sad that they retired. Yeah, hopefully they have a good retirement. Jack?
I think similar to what you guys said, good luck in retirement. As for the Steelers, Chargers, the Pouncey on the Chargers made an impact, but Pouncey on the Steelers was a massive. He was a Pro Bowler last year. But that does clear up some cap, and the Steelers have negative $30 million, as we said when we were talking about J.J. Watt. So that does clear up some cap, but that will be a big void in both lines that they're going to have to fill now.
All right, so with our next story, I'll be taking this one. Jimmy G likely to stay in San Francisco. What does this do with them, Jack?
So Jimmy G is staying in San Fran. So I think this is interesting news. But at the same time, I think this makes it clear that the team rallied around Jimmy G at some point in the offseason. And he does have a good record when he's in, 23-6, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure, but he does win a lot, but he's hurt a lot too. Like, I don't think he played half the year this year, and that is not good. Because I understand the winning is there, but one of the most important traits in a QB is healthiness. You have to be able to stay on the field. And to his credit, he did, other than last season. Last year he went to the Super Bowl. He was good. This year he was not so good. But if he can stay healthy, I think he can manage the game and get the Niners to the playoffs. But I'm still concerned that at points he struggles to take it to the next level, like the big throw in the Super Bowl to Emmanuel Sanders, tie the game that he missed. He struggles in the big moments, but I think as for now, this is good. But I think if you were the Niners, I would have rolled the dice on a Sam Darnold and then him develop into a super good QB. I mean, they're similar price range. Darnold's probably got a lower floor, but he's got a higher ceiling. So they're just going with the safe route. It's clear the roster likes Jimmy. And I'm curious to see what the 49ers have in store for 2021. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I think Jimmy G, I mean, I'm happy that he's staying. This helps out them not getting a good QB. He's more of a game manager. It's not really like he can take over a game, and we haven't seen him take over a game. So I'm not too sure about him staying on the Niners, but maybe they can take, I don't know, Kyle Trask or something in the later rounds, so then they can just keep Jimmy G and Jimmy G can train up Kyle Trask. I don't know, but good that he's staying for the teams in his division. But it's bad for the team itself, so I don't really see it. But yeah, Josh.
I think that this is really shown with the offseason that we've experienced that next year is going to be a proving year for Jimmy G, because you can't really be this average quarterback making as much money as he is and still expect to have a roster spot on the team. So I'd say the next year is a proving year, and if he doesn't work out, they are drafting another quarterback. They were almost Super Bowl champions last year if Jimmy G would have made that throw. So this is his proving year. If he does not do well this year, he is gone, and he will be replaced by somebody else. So,
All right. So our our final story is something about the Panthers. Jack, you want to take this over?
All right. The Panthers have released defensive tackle Kuwaun Short. So, since I don't know how much everyone else knows, I'll open this up with the take, and this is just a cap penalty. There wasn't a lot of news, so this was just the extra 5 that we had to put in. So all you need to know here is the Panthers defense is getting younger, which is their goal. I understand I'm seeing a lot of people say this is the Panthers clearing out cap for Watson. Not necessarily. I don't think this influences Panthers. Panthers are going to go after Watson if he's available, but I doubt that Kuwaun Short getting released makes the massive difference on if they're able to trade for him or not. He wasn't going to be in the trade, and it's not like the Panthers are struggling in the cap situation either. This is just the Panthers defense getting younger, Derek Brown taking a bigger role, and overall getting rid of a veteran, getting ready for the young bucks from this last draft class. Remember, they drafted not a single offensive player last year on all defense. So this is just passing of the torch to Derek Brown. They don't want a veteran. He was a little costly, so they want a little more playing money in free agency. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that this is a good move by them, making their defense younger. And I still think that Short will be picked up by a team. There's a bunch of teams that need tackles. Maybe the Vikings could be one that could get him. Maybe he could go to a team like... No, they have Carlos Wilkins, not that team. There are a couple teams that I can think of that would probably want his services and have the cap room to pay him. He is a 2-time Pro Bowler. So I think he'll find his footing, and the Panthers just show that they're getting younger and will probably be the next Super Bowl contenders in a couple of years.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll say my take. I think that they actually drafted this year a defensive tackle. So, yeah, I guess that they're going to get like a new defensive tackle, another defensive tackle because you need 2. But this was all because of cap. He's getting older. He'll probably sign to a team that needs like a veteran leader on their team. But, yeah, it's sad to see him go, but it's kind of happening anyway. All right. Well, that does it for our video today. Josh, if they like it, what should they do?
If you like what you saw here, don't forget to hit that like button, punch that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell. If you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, you become a part of the Frontline Football fan base. So you can become a part of the Frontline Football fan base with just that simple thing. No money required, no nothing. It is just a subscribe and a hitting of the notification bell. And don't forget, if you like what you saw, share it with your friends. We love the publicity of getting everybody here. It's so great whenever you guys send your friends over because they might like what we're doing. Their friends may like what they're doing. And, it's Frontline Football. We have a bunch of off-season stuff. You will get something every single week. We have things planned all the way until August. This is going to be a big off-season, so don't go anywhere. So, Jack, hit the plugs.
All right. As always, do not forget to follow us on Instagram at FrontlineFB, Twitter, same tag. If you're too lazy to type that in, go to the link in the description. And if you're extra too lazy, open up a new tab and search Frontline FB. We're the second option now. So as always, hope you enjoyed. A little schedule update real quick. Since we filmed our first preview episode just about 30 minutes ago. So get ready. Frontline News every Wednesday. AFC previews on Friday. NFC previews on Sunday. That's going to be the next month. We're going to cover each team. So your favorite team, we're going to ask. We got a couple options, what they should do. What are our thoughts on their off seasons? So that will be fun. That will cover us until around March 17th, and then we'll get into draft free agency updates, and that will be fun. So expect a big month from us. 3 videos a week at the max. 2 videos a week at the minimum. So stacked month. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
See ya.